Good morning. I thought I'd just come on here because I don't generally just come on and chat to people. And when I'm doing a quick walk around, it's amazing how the tangents flow. So I thought, if you just wanted to talk cars or whatever, I'd do just a quick live. So I'm currently sat on Asda car park in Kendal. I've just bought some SD cards for various adventures over the coming weeks, including a Hilux and a D-Max with two other D-Maxes. So we're going to have a 3 pickup procession, whatever you want to call it, so we can go adventuring, which would be pretty damn cool. And it's also going to be on some lanes that I've never been on before, so adventures galore. What I'm trying to do this week is catch up with all the car reviews. I've had so many car reviews to edit. I think on my list I've got about 40, and that includes the Q4, the road trip to Goodwood Festival of Speed, the Kia Ceed, which we've just done, and Honda Jazz. I'm trying to think what else. It's amazing. As soon as you go on chat, you can guarantee you're going to forget what's on your list. But yeah, there's about 35 videos. So what have you guys been up to? It's a lovely sunny day, which makes a change because it's been so weird. I mean, we went out and did the Suzuki drive around in the Vitara yesterday morning, and by the end of it I was absolutely boiling. But when we started it was a bit chilled, and then all of a sudden the sun comes. But over the weekend it's been blustery and wet and windy and you name it. So what have you guys been up to? Have you been doing anything with project cars, driving new cars, testing things, deciding what to buy? I mean, one that's grabbing me at the moment is the MG4. Well intrigued to see that. And the price bracket as well, under 26,000 for a family compact SUV, I think is what they're calling it. Oh my word. I've just done a bit of maintenance on the Merc as well, so removed some of the rubbers and cleaned down. It's amazing how much grime gets in a car like this. It's getting warmer and warmer. I'm gonna have to open the door. It's starting to roast. So we've got some adventures coming up over the coming weeks. So I've already said that we've got 2 pickups, but we're also going down adventuring big time dead south in one of the pickups, probably the Hilux, and that's to the new Honda Civic launch, the e-HEV. Now I'm hoping that the new Type R's there. Whether it's going to be, I don't actually know, but it'd be nice to see, because Johnny and CarWow and all types of people have already seen it, and I can't tell if they've experienced it or not. You can see shots of it being driven, but I don't know if it's them in it. I'll have to take a deeper look. But time frame wise, my main aim is to get loads more content out, because you guys are waiting patiently for all these car reviews that I've got coming out. So here's a rundown of what's happening over the next few weeks. 2 pickups, so an off-roading adventure with the Mud Life and Andy Harris. So that's a northern group of motoring writers type adventure. Looking forward to that one, because it will be on some terrain that I'm not familiar with, and the likelihood is Annabelle's going to be driving, so that'll be fun. So I'll be running around with a camera trying to keep up with 3 pickups in the middle of nowhere. I have to make sure I don't trip. Ooh! Say at me. I do like those. And then following that, the Honda Civic launch in a pickup, so we'll do a road trip in probably the Hilux. Then I'll be doing a comparison between the D-Max and the Hilux. And then it's mega adventure time, Silverstone Classic. And what we'll be doing there is doing the retro run, and we're taking good old Dorothy down. As you can tell, I'm sat in Dorothy by the fact that you've got all this, and don't worry, this is all going to be steam cleaned. So I'll do the interior and clean up most of the exterior as well. I've got some hydrobaric something, or the water repellent type polish type thing. I don't know, it's about 27 quid a bottle when I bought it, and thought that'll be interesting, we'll try it. Tried it on the boot as a one-off, and it seems to protect quite well. Also cleans up and gives a lovely lustre and shine. So Silverstone Classic we've never been to before. If you remember, we were supposed to go last year, and the problem was the box in dear old Dorothy decided to die, and we couldn't work out for the life of us what it was. And it did end up being the oil pump. And that, well, it just meant that the oil pump didn't lubricate whatever it's meant to, gears and cogs and whatever. So what happened in the end was we thought there's something else more than that, and as we all know, it was the governor as well, so it didn't know when to change gear. So we took it to that transmission place in Blackpool, and they did it, and it's all sorted now, and since then it's run like a dream every time. We've also had a mate, Robin, who tweaks something to do with, I think it's not firing order, but it's definitely to do with ignition system. And on a 124, you've got twiddly things. It's the only way I can describe them. And if you twist it, you can set it either for unleaded petrol, like, I don't know, 95 or whatever it is now, and then one for super unleaded, which is, say, what, 99, if you go for Momentum, my favourite petrol, which you can never get anywhere. And it's made a difference. It's made it livelier. It does guzzle more, but I mean, let's face it, one of these isn't economical anyway. It's probably weighing in at about 1,700 kilos with a 2.336 brake horsepower engine, 4-cylinder. Hi David, yes, we have loads. We've also got a fair few manufacturers giving us cars up until, I think it's November now. So we've got some Hyundais coming. What else? There's also going to be a launch with Hyundai. I'm not giving too much away on that one yet, but that'll be, I think a lot of you will love that. What else? Nissan Leaf coming. So that'll be the first Leaf we've ever driven. I'm looking forward to that one because, I mean, let's face it, the Leaf was one of the earliest electric cars. So it'd be interesting to see how the technology's moved along, because I know they suffered from battery degradation and all types of things. And I'm assuming that's all been resolved. I mean, we did see a rather fancy Leaf at SMMT. It's like wide bodied, but we also saw the electric Bluebird as well. We did try and get that on test, but no, Nissan aren't too keen to put that one out. Because why are you going to put that out when it's got Nissan Leaf technology, when you can give a journalist or a reviewer or whatever a Leaf? It kind of defeats the object to give them a Bluebird, even though the Bluebird would just, oh, it'd be like going back to the 80s or 90s or whenever it was. Boxy but good. Yes, I know that was a Volvo slogan, but still a pretty boxy car. I'm trying to think what else we've got coming up. Got to get the garden and orchard under control, because let's face it, it's gone a bit haywire. I've been trying to sort out family challenges, shall we say, which are now pretty much resolved, which is, oh, it's a weight off our mind. Got rid of COVID, so that was good, because that was plaguing everybody on the planet. I'm trying to think what else we've got coming up. At some point, we will get the Mark II Golf GTI 16 valve back. At the moment, it needs some more engine work, but I'm not surprising. I bought an ABF and hoped it would be fine, but it sounds like it may have a bottom end knock. If it's got a bottom end knock, then it's a rebuild. But it is what it is. Just been into Asda and bought some of these. So, because we're going off-roading, I'm going to put the Acasos and mount them on the windscreen and the bonnet. Yeah, David, we've got a lot coming actually. We've got a lot of cars, and then I've also got all the content that I've already got. And big announcement today, from over the weekend actually, we decided to put together a new segment. And the segment is Annabelle. And Annabelle does a woman's perspective on cars. So she talks about the things that I won't. For example, the brake horsepower. She'll talk about whether you can get your handbag in that little hole there, and whether you need to hold your coffee while opening the door, if the door will open itself, and then, you know, seat your coffee. All this kind of thing. And things that ladies think, oh, actually, yeah, I've not looked at that side of it before. For example, you can't really talk about it on this, adjustable seat belts. Yeah, there's material coming from all angles. And the big announcement. Over the weekend, we decided to take the plunge and film everything in 4K. So, we bought the digital SLR R5. It's either an R5 Canon or an R6. I can never remember which one it is. So we can now do 4K capability. So what we did over the weekend was converted all the phones as well. So everything that we film from now on should be 4K. I'm assuming this stream is, but I can't actually tell. So everything from now on is now 4 times the size, which meant we came into some challenges over the weekend. We were filming and we'd be like, oh, we've got hours and hours and hours and hours, and because it's 4 times the size, it eats up a 64 gig in literally next to no time in comparison. So next thing we know, we're filming and card full. And the new camera allows for 2 cards as well, so it fills up 128 gig pretty much on a full review, whereas it used to be a maximum of, say, 35. So that was a learning curve. So what we're having to do now is buy Extreme Pro cards and bigger storage solutions as well. So that's a new thing. I'm hoping 4K should look pretty out there. Sounds a bit trippy, doesn't it? I've used 4K before, but I've never put anything up. I may have put one little tester video, but the fact that all the reviews are now going 4K, it should give you guys a little more clarity, because that camera's damn good anyway. The light, the way it does things. I mean, most of the videos we put up, slight bit of colour correction, but not very much, because the camera can do most of it out of the box. Yeah, well, the camera, Dave, was, I think it's £2,500. But it's 4K. It's got some mega sound processing unit, and I'm trying to think what else it's got. It's all singing and dancing before you go for seriously professional. If you go for whichever one it is, one's the R5, one's the R6, and the other one is about another £2,000 on top. But I mean, we've been running on 750D, which is 1080 for 6 years, and it cost us the princely sum of about 350 quid. So to then spend £2,500 on a camera is quite the leap. And then we had to learn it, because I always wanted, what was it, Canon 5D Mark II, and I thought, oh, I'm going to buy one of those, and I looked into it and thought, what's the point of buying this antiquated camera that's extremely good, but when they're bringing out all these new models? So we did our research and thought, yeah, we're going to have to move to 4K, because we're getting more and more audience. After COVID, it started to go in leaps and bounds now, so we're getting more and more traffic every day. We're getting more and more engagement from you guys. Exactly, that's what we learned right at the beginning. We were doing everything with iPhone 6 and 7s and 750D, and it did as well. I mean, to be perfectly frank, when I started this channel, I was as wooden as bloody Pinocchio. When I spoke, I'd be like, this is the MG. It was even worse than that, to be honest. It was like, this is the MG SUV. It is very good, and it's green, and it's an SUV that you could maybe go green laning in. No, you can't. I mean, where did I come up with that? You're not going to take a GS green laning, are you? But because you stood in front of a camera, and I've been a web designer for so many years, and behind the scenes, to then step in front was the most daunting thing in my life. I think I'd just turned 40, and I'm now 46. And now, as you know, this is like, it's an everyday adventure, isn't it? I can just literally just turn the camera on and start gibbering and jabbering. But it's taken a fair few years to, you know, it is. And it's not, the interesting thing is, it's, yeah, the content doesn't play that much of a part. It's, what, the magnetism, that kind of thing, from a person, and how they can put something across. And they've got to be likable, because if you're unlikable and you're a complete and utter tool on camera, then yeah, you might get some people, oh yeah, I love your no-nonsense style, but then yeah, you won't get anybody that's actually interested in buying a car. And the bottom line is, we're doing this because we want to give people an insight into what a vehicle's like, and plus, as you know, we love cars completely. Otherwise we wouldn't buy things like this, because unless you've got a mega budget, then you're going to be putting money into cars that you're just like, why am I going to buy this when I can go and lease that for, I don't know, whatever, and it'll be reliable and absolutely no challenge. But when you've got something like this and you drive brand new cars each day, you get the best of both worlds, and that's what I really like about what I do. We also could well be having someone else under the Planet Auto brand. More on that soon. But he's an extremely well-seasoned gent, and yeah, he's known in the automotive industry quite well, especially in certain areas of the UK. More on that when we know what's happening. If you do look at the website, you'll notice over the last few weeks, put my teeth in, that everything's... Oh, there we go, trolley guys. There we go. Lovely guy, going and getting the trolley off someone. Anyway, back to the script. Okay, mine's completely gone. Can't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, website. So the website's had a complete overhaul. It doesn't look like it, but we've refined a lot of things. For example, we fixed the search. We've now started putting posts on far more frequently. What we're currently trying to do, and this has been the mega challenge of the year because we saw it at the CV show, and that's try and get a T90 EV. Hot. In a word, it's hot. So yeah, I'm in Kendal, just down from where... I will turn this off eventually. Yeah, have a good day. Bye.